you think of Bitcoin as just money, you're thinking too small. Yes, it's money, and it's truthful money, but the reason Bitcoin is the hardest money in the history of the world is because it has integrity. Not because it's a computer system that uses energy. It's a system that was engineered to have integrity and to be thermodynamically sound, to actually manifest scarcity. And that integrity can be used for the root application of money and banking, if you will, especially money and monetary transfer. But there's a lot of other things you can do with it. The other things have to do with integrity and veracity, and we call it a truth machine, not just a money machine.
And there you have it. Michael Saylor talking about Bitcoin being the truth machine. We got more soon. Stay tuned. If you want to check out more from Michael, you can check him out at Saylor on his Twitter. But before we get to any of that, make sure you go ahead and check us out at Bitcoin Bros 26. We're crypto enthusiasts talking crypto every single day for you. We appreciate all your support, and we'll hear more from Michael before this video's out. But getting straight into it, taking a look at the Bitcoin price chart, what do we see? That we had this downtrend, we broke out, and this is a bump and run pattern. We broke out, came back and flipped this resistance to support now, and now we're just stair-stepping our way to the upside. Now, when could we see 40, 50,000? Well, if you look here, if this is the bottom, you see the middle of the bottom somewhat right around here, December of 22. So that took about 399 days to play out. Now, what if we do another measured move as far as the date range and see how long is it going to take us to get back up to this top? If we go another 399 days out, that'll take us to January of 2024. That's right before the halving. Well, not certain if that'll be the case, but let's look at the bar patterns and see if we can just flip and mirror this and see what this breakout looks like and where this could potentially take us to. This could take us up to roughly the $52,000 threshold. So will Bitcoin make a run up before we get a cool off going to the next halving? That's one thing to wait for, but all in all, you see the trend is broken and we're putting in higher lows and higher highs. If the stair stepping continues, definitely bullish for Bitcoin. An update from TA Trader Analyst, as calculated by the Haver Analytics, a recession probability right now at the current time this recording is 99.3% chance of a recession happening. There have been a few times when the indicator was in excess of 99% way back in the 70s and early in the 80s, and recessions did follow. So with the recession, and if this does shock the system, if something breaks, if the stock market crashes, how will this affect crypto and Bitcoin? That's still to be determined. Even though that they're calling for recessions, look at the patterns. The patterns don't lie. From El Crypto Prof, he's saying, I gave you the bottom area of Bitcoin in 2022, and he called that. I also tried to give you the top peak area of Bitcoin. By the way, if you look at 2015, 18, and 19, we have a lot of room until Bitcoin's next local top. So please don't tell me you're waiting for 10K. The bottom's in, but you see a local top, a local top. You have a little bit of ways to wait for that local top, and we just showed you, we just mirrored that and flipped that. That takes that up into this range. So that local top could be happening sooner rather than later. Are we going to see that before the summer's out? Definitely seems bullish for Bitcoin and crypto. Another update from TA Trader Allen. Falling wedge is formed onto support in the Bitcoin weekly charts. It's one of the most bullish patterns. So right here, you see Bitcoin got its head hit once, twice, and we came back and flipped this to resistance, a falling wedge, blast off to the upside. This happened back in 2016-17, going from hundreds of dollars up to almost $20,000. If Bitcoin does the same thing, it's going to have going from $20,000 to $30,000 up to $160,000 plus going into Q1, Q2 of 2024. Could get extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Another update from TA Trader Allen, as Bitcoin is generally inverse correlated to the DXY. The DXY is having a head and shoulders pattern on top of a resistance line. If the DXY drops the resistance, this will cause Bitcoin to move parabolically. So look here, last time we had a double top situation, we had resistance, ran into it, then broke through that resistance, double top, then broke through it. The DXY fell in 2017, Bitcoin ripped up to 20,000. And now we see this inverse head and shoulders pattern playing out as well. Definitely a bearish indication. So when the DXY falls once again, Bitcoin is going to be extremely parabolic, going over $100,000 per coin. And check this out. We want you to remember this here. Pakistan is set to ban Bitcoin and crypto services, citing money laundering and terrorism financing. Cryptocurrency will never be legalized in Pakistan. And this is from the finance minister of Pakistan. So we want to hear from Michael Saylor. He speaks on this. When things tend to get banned, what happens on the back end? And he's relating this to Bitcoin. So let's hear what Michael has to say.
Every time a politician wants to ban guns, there's an explosion in demand to buy guns, right? And so talk about CBDCs really as a marketing event that causes everyone to think about a world where they don't own their own money. And that makes them think, well, what kind of money could I acquire that I would own? And the most censorship-resistant monetary network in the world is Bitcoin. So interest in CBDCs is just going to drive more feverish interest in Bitcoin. It's actually driving awareness, and Bitcoin is growing as people become more aware that they need something which is non-sovereign, store of value, nation state resistant. If there's hyperinflation, people want Bitcoin. That's why they are thinking about Bitcoin in Argentina or in Nigeria. If there's moderate inflation, people that are sensitive to it will go for Bitcoin, and then the people that think the inflation will go away will look at it as an oddity. Money is it's a store of value, a unit of account, a medium of exchange, and then there's a fourth characteristic that we don't talk about. It's the thing that's not said. It's a system of control. So certain monies are easier to control than others. For example, we talk about gold as money, but you ever try to carry a gold bar through an airport?
Very heavy.
Try it next time. They won't let you through, right? In fact, if you tried to carry $100,000 of gold through an airport, not only would you not get through, but the assumption would be you're a criminal, you stole the gold, and they would just take it and keep it without a court order. Try to carry $100,000 of cash through the airport. You ever try that? Put it in a bag and just... you can put it in a bag, and as you're walking through the TSA check or the X-ray machine, just nonchalantly say to the officer, yeah, I'm carrying $100,000 of money onto the airplane, right? You won't get through. Now, not only will you not get through, they'll just take your money, right? They'll just take it, and the assumption will be you stole it, okay? So cash is a unit of control. Now, put $100,000 in a bank and try to wire it to someone, or just take it out, and they're going to ask you why. Tell them it's none of their business. Try to send it to someone privately. Tell them you just want to send it to a numbered Swiss bank account, right? See how that works. That won't work, right? That's a system of control. A couple of stable coins have been getting shut down. Paxos's BUSD got a Wells notice. They got shut down, and Custodia tried to launch a bank, and they wanted to issue AVITs. AVITs were digital dollars, and they were digital dollars that were going to circulate on crypto networks. And the regulators denied that banking license, and it's about a 70-page denial letter, very articulate, and I read it all. I read thousands. I read all of the crypto legislation and all of the crypto litigation. So if you dig into that denial letter, which is very well written and articulate, what is very clear is the regulators say we're not going to allow the bank to form because we don't want someone to issue digital dollars that will circulate on crypto networks non-KYC. Evading our our anti-money laundering rules, our anti-terrorism rules, our know your customer rules. It's clear that the regulators reject with prejudice the idea that you can circulate large sums of dollars without reporting that